Welcome, sentient beings from all known universes and beyond. It's time to activate your cranial downlinks and prepare to receive a raft of discussion on a cosmic ocean of science fiction and fantasy topics, interviews with local area genre devotees, and insightful prognostication by our soothsayers of science fiction, our forecasters of fantasy, and any other beings that happen to get caught in our gravity well. This is the Galactic Driftwood Podcast.
Well, here we are again.
Who's us?
Well, this is Bill.
I'm John.
This is Charles.
I'm Marty.
And we are Galactic Driftwood. Welcome to our third show? Yeah.
Third
it's
show.
our third show.
Third show. So far, the FCC hasn't busted in and arrested any of us, so...
Well, I was just remembering what those podcast experts said at Comic-Con. It's like, if you make it past 5, you got a product. So...
Was it 5 or 15?
5. 5, but it's like, you know, anything can happen. But Here we are. I feel confident. I do.
Yep.
I'm feeling good.
You looking confident. What's your shirt say? You got an Comic-Con shirt
I got
on
an Comic-Con shirt, yeah.
Nice. I am wearing the Star Helix security force from The Expanse today.
I am. Oh, go. I'm sorry. You were going to talk, Artie?
I'm not wearing anything.
Well, you are. Otherwise...
It's a good thing we have a video podcast so we can...
Otherwise, all of this would be
confirm
pointless.
that.
But yeah,
Yes.
But it's like, okay, we have a great show. Did you want to talk about your new piece of bling?
Yeah, I have a nice new NCC 1701, no bloody A, B, C, or D, Enterprise.
Yeah, original series.
That I acquired yesterday.
The
from
real
a
one.
good friend. Yep. And it does all kinds of stuff. Lights, blink. Here, I'll show you.
He's very proud of it. He likes his little toy. And... yeah.
I might have to bring it up here.
You're just going to show it right to the camera. All right. It's very nice.
Yes.
Very nice. Just like a... I don't know, like a child who has a new toy. And it's a fine toy. I like it. I really do.
It's even better because my parents can't tell me to put it away and go to bed. I can stay up till 3:30 in the morning playing with it.
Indeed. But
not that I've done that.
It's a fine toy. So you might have noticed that we redecorated the studio since episode 2.
That's right. We have. We've got more space and a better layout so we can hopefully get everybody's image.
Which we got from feedback from our listeners. And so please, we do value your feedback. Right. We will take it into account and change our game.
Right. However, much more feedback that requires a complete re-architecting of the studio will probably kill me.
Yeah. Well, I'm the one that moved all of the... All right, from where you guys are watching the show, all of our listeners, you don't see all of the really heavy exercise equipment that I had to move.
Right.
So that
you
did a lot of what you did was hard back-breaking stuff
and in all fairness, I did tell you where to put it.
Yes, you
did. So I
did
contribute.
Yes, you did. But you kept saying not there. Not there.
Right.
Not there.
Or back just a little bit. Nope, that's too far. Forward just a little bit. Oh, nope. Almost at it.
Yes. Now, thank you for reminding me of that. You reawakened my hate.
And your screaming nerve endings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun.
Well, at least I didn't have to go to the gym afterwards, so made me happy.
And fortunately, Charles and Audie weren't here because it would have been a 3-ring circus at that point with everybody saying, no, you need to go.
I decided I was busy.
Yeah, that was a good. That was I wanted to decide that, but it was my house, so I kind of had to be here.
Well, I didn't know anything about it. Lucky me.
You got to read the pod. You got to read the chat.
I read the chat and it was talking about cameras and this and that, and okay.
You kind of glossed over.
I just glossed over, yeah.
All right. Well, listen, should we get to some productive sci-fi?
We have a great show for people today, I think.
Got a lot of stuff to talk about.
I feel good about it.
A lot of things going on. So you want to talk about?
So speaking of toys.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, we're talking about William Shatner.
Yeah.
Yes.
And apparently there's a big controversy because the town of Riverside, Iowa, which is apparently said to be the birthplace of Captain James T. Kirk.
Future birthplace,
Yes. Recently revealed a new statue of Kirk that was supposedly created with William Shatner's blessing, but the Star Trek star disputes that claim. Dun, dun, dun. The mystery ensues. So the Kirk statue was recently unveiled during the Trek Fest, 34 celebration, an event held in Kirk's hometown. Now, Kirk's hometown should not be confused with William Shatner's hometown, which is in Quebec, Canada. Some religious-sounding name.
Yeah, I was going to dare you to say that name.
Saint the Blue, boo. Yeah, something like that.
Well, hey, Googlebot, where was Captain Kirk born?
No,
William Shatner.
Oh.
Well, Googlebot will tell us things. It's always good.
Iowa. According to Wikipedia,
Hey,
James
Googlebot.
Tiberius.
Cancel.
Where
Hey,
was
I found a
Googlebot.
couple electronic stores near you. The
Thank
first
you.
one is Best Buy at
Hey,
330.
Googlebot, where was William Shatner born?
Okay.
She's thinking.
William Shatner was born in Notre Dame de Grace.
There we go.
Notre Dame de Grace, Quebec, Canada. Anyway, so this was unveiled in Riverside, Iowa, the birthplace of Kirk, not the birthplace of Shatner.
In the Prime universe. In the JJ universe, he was born in space.
Yes,
He was
right.
born on the Kelvin.
Well,
and shuttlecraft.
In the shuttle.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're very good, Audie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
got a little tiny golf clap for you.
So Shatner took to Twitter to state he had nothing to do with it, and that he wasn't, and that not only didn't he give the authorization, that he doesn't have the authority to give the authorization. That would have to go through CBS. So do you know, John? Did what's happened to that? The statue's still there.
Yeah, nothing's changed. It's like, which brings the question: does William Shatner have any control over the likeness of William Shatner? Because I mean, it's like it's Captain Kirk, which is property of CBS Paramount, which, as we all understand, can lead to some legal problems.
Correct.
If people discover how some people do things to get some things. But yes. Now, in terms of William Shatner's likeness, is it William Shatner's likeness?
Well, he
or
says...
is it Captain Kirk's likeness? It's like...
Well, and Shatner says he doesn't even think it looks like him.
I don't either. And it's like, I wish we had a computer so...
Well, we'll flash it up. We'll put a little picture
I
on the
know, but
screen
I think
in
it's
post.
time to figure out a way to actually do that. So, I have ideas.
We can do it up here.
We can, but it's like...
Let me see if I can find it. Keep talking about it.
All right. Well, who owns their likeness? I mean, I'm pretty sure Shatner signed away his likeness in terms of Captain Kirk. So does that just mean if he puts on a velour gold shirt, his likeness is no longer his own? Can he wear a Star Trek uniform in public, or is that owned by CBS? And, come to think of it, when I cosplay, and when Bill cosplays as Doctor Who, is he violating BBC copyright? Is he infringing on their copyright? I mean, it would be very petty for them to actually prosecute.
The other thing, but if at some point the series claimed the town, I don't see why the town can't claim the series.
No, I agree. I do.
Yeah.
And it's a moneymaker. It's like low-hanging free tourism money for doing nothing. They didn't even have to build a statue, because I'm sure the true basement Trekkies will still make the pilgrimage to Riverside, Iowa, just to say they went. But yeah.
Yeah.
But if you want to build a shrine, that's fine.
Oh, that does not look like him.
That doesn't. It doesn't look like Chris Pine either. The new Star Trek.
It doesn't even look like a blend.
Captain Kirk. Yeah. Who does it look like?
Looks like his younger brother.
It looks more like Simon Pegg than it does William
Yeah.
Shatner. That's
Yeah, not good.
well, Definitely, yeah, ambiguous, shall we say.
But not bad for a small town.
No, but it could be a red shirt.
It could.
Frozen by...
in carbonite.
Yes, frozen in carbonite.
A red shirt in carbonite. Which is mixing at least two different sci-fi genres, but okay.
It works.
Would a red shirt survive the carbonite? No.
No.
Well, so whenever I see a town claim a celebrity, and like I remember seeing a town in Iowa claim Johnny Carson once, and I remember thinking to myself, there was a billboard that went birthplace of Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
He was born in Nebraska.
He's born in
maybe
Iowa.
it was in Nebraska.
He lived in Nebraska. He grew up in Norfolk.
Some town, someplace had a billboard that
I
said
was born here. Okay.
home of Johnny Carson at some point. And I remember thinking that's an advertisement that you are such a boring town.
Yeah.
That if you come here to live with and your kids, if they survive without teen pregnancy or meth addiction, nothing will stop them. Because just anything's better than the boredom they've experienced.
Right.
And so what I think's interesting about this town, not having been there, is not only are they claiming that kind of boredom, but they're claiming that kind of boredom in the future, where their celebrity in the future, their town is so boring that their celebrity in the future would prefer the vast coldness and emptiness of space and consider that exciting compared to his life growing up there.
Well,
which is quite a mission.
I think we've all been to Iowa, so it's like
Yeah.
Well, Iowa's nice. I have never been to Riverside. I would like to go visit. I would actually like to get my picture taken next to the statue, but then I could pretty much put me and virtually any red shirt.
Well, I mean, look at the
post.
statue. Look behind the statue. I feel a very Children of the Corn kind of vibe happening there. It's like Malachi is going to come out and just kind of take my soul.
Yeah, the chain link fence is not really a great touch.
Yeah.
Chain link fence with children's playground equipment. Why would you have to fence in children's playground equipment?
Now that looks like a gas pipe, maybe.
No, it's a children's playground.
It is.
Yeah.
With a thing behind you.
I think it's on the other side of the fence, though.
You sure? It looks like it's on.
Well, I'm not sure, but
yeah,
I've never
so
been there.
you have to chain in your kids.
Yeah.
You have to put them in like the fun pit.
Well,
when you go to Riverside,
you go let them play on the warp drive.
Yeah. Oh man. All right, we're starting to go in directions.
We don't wanna go
Just
for it.
directions. Yes, but that is that is okay. I think that was a successful test of our video capabilities.
ability.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but well done.
Thank you.
But I mean, so Shatner acknowledges that he does not own Captain Kirk.
Yes.
But it's like, had it looked like him, would he have
Embraced it?
Well, I mean, at what point is William Shatner's likeness not William Shatner's likeness? At what point does he not own himself anymore?
Right.
I mean,
Well, I think if it's a depiction of the character,
yeah,
it would be owned by the studio.
yes.
So at that point, the studio gets the say. Shatner could probably sign off on it.
Well, that's probably why it doesn't look like him.
Yeah.
It's the
So-
essence.
So, but
Yeah.
Of Kirk.
It's the spirit of Kirk,
let's say David
not the
Tennant.
visage. Yeah.
David Tennant.
Maybe it's a likeness of the real Kirk, not the actor playing him.
Now we're getting now we're
You're getting
going
metaphysical.
we're all going Inception on this now. We don't
Yes.
want, there's too many layers, and I don't think they're all there. But David Tennant goes out in public
Doctor Who.
as Doctor Who. Is he allowed to? Is he allowed to roll out and just
I don't think
be,
he can.
Yeah, but you can.
I can.
Well, I mean, technically, can you? I mean, if BBC
Yeah.
didn't want you to, could they tell you? I guess they could cease and desist you, couldn't they? It would be
Well,
bad publicity, but
They couldn't keep me from wearing any clothes that I want to wear.
well, true. But if you are infringing on a copyright,
And I'm not claiming to be David Tennant.
but you're claiming to be
Yeah.
you're
The
claiming to be John Hurt,
Right. Well, no, I'm claiming to be the War Doctor.
yes, which is played exclusively by John Hurt, and it's like you've been
Right.
mistaken for John Hurt.
Yes.
Yes, so
Yeah, true.
so if BBC said cease and
When in
desist,
costume.
would you obey that order?
Well, probably because I wouldn't want to go to court and fight it.
Are you?
They have more money than I do.
Yeah. Are you wearing special makeup to alter your appearance or anything?
I am not.
You're just wearing clothes.
Just wearing clothes.
Then I don't think they've got grounds then.
No.
Well,
They can't force me to go naked.
Well, but Disney goes after it's people who wear their clothes. It's like, especially.
Well, what
lately
about the
they're
501st?
Well, the 501st are
Star Wars cosplay
are
group.
sanctioned reenactors. They're not cosplayers. They have to have very, very precise replications of screen perfect.
Who are they sanctioned by?
Disney.
Okay.
Lucasfilm before. Actually, I'm not sure. So I'm not. I know Lucasfilm did. I don't know what Disney's stance on it is, but I do know that they've gone after guys in Beauty and the Beast costumes, the Disney princesses who make money for it. So yeah.
The other question is, in the near future, when you go to a Comic-Con or some event, and somebody's dressed as their favorite podcaster, are you going to be irritated?
No.
Because it's not going to be you.
Yeah, it's like,
Hey, listen, I will tell you this. We had, at where I work, we had Halloween celebrations, big Halloween celebrations every year. Used to. One year, a whole department came as me. They all dressed up as me. And it was quite hilarious, actually. But I realized I needed to change my outfit.
Well,
Dude,
that's like the most sincerest flattery that any workplace could ever give you.
They all had my face as masks, and then they wore T-shirts and jeans. I said, I think I'm in a rut here.
Yeah, maybe.
But I was fine with it. Didn't bother me.
Awesome. No,
Yeah.
I'm
No nightmares. No nightmares after that one.
No. It
Well,
was
cool.
It was a dream come true.
a dream.
All right, well, let's move on. So I think we've beat that horse until it's
Well,
a bloody pulp.
I don't know if we beat it. I thought it was actually a very entertaining dialogue. That
It
we
was.
had.
It was.
But meanwhile, back at Star Trek-ish.
Yeah, why don't
kind
you
of things.
tell us about this one?
Zachary Quinto. This one, I mean, for those of you that don't know, Zachary Quinto plays Spock in the JJ universe, which is the Kelvin timeline, which is the the rebooted movie series from J.J. Abrams
Of the original series.
and he's really good at it. He's a very great Spock, but it's like he has taken the role from Leonard Nimoy, who no longer played it.
Right.
But now Zachary Quinto is going to be the host of a reboot of In Search Of,
Which was hosted by...
Leonard Nimoy in the 70s.
Right.
So, and I'm actually eager to see that. That should be really, really cool. Are all of the members of this panel aware of In Search Of?
I saw it.
I've never seen it.
I don't think I've seen it either. So what was it?
It was like they studied
of a mystery
Bigfoot,
show, yeah.
UFOs, ghosts, and they had the appropriate spooky music and.
So that's weird. So he's taking over Leonard Nimoy's
Life.
portfolio,
Yeah.
so to speak. Yes.
Yeah, right?
As if.
Right. But, I mean, here's the thing. The guy now is synonymous, along with Leonard Nimoy, in the role of
Spock.
Spock.
He got stuck. It's like Leonard Nimoy was actually for a long time very, very unhappy at the typecasting of being Spock. And now it seems like Quinto might be suffering from that typecasting too. So what's he going to do? I mean, steal some more of Leonard's roles?
Although in fairness to Zachary Quinto, he does have, I think, a more impressive resume at this point in his life than Leonard Nimoy did at the point where he started playing Spock.
Luckily, Spock was not born in Riverside, Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's the thing.
His mother was, though.
If that was the case, let's say Spock, instead of being born on Vulcan, had been born in Omaha, Nebraska, for example. And now you've got another character playing Spock. Would you have to have two statues, one showing the Leonard Nimoy version and one showing the Zachary Quinto version.
Well, would you? Well, I mean, should they have a Chris Pine version and a William Shatner version?
Maybe that's what that was, a cross. Maybe they morphed the two faces together.
Well, that's why I said it didn't look like even a blend to me.
Oh,
Well, I'm
right.
sure by the end of season 2 of Discovery, we're going to have a third Captain Kirk to play with. So,
Right.
it'll be Lieutenant Kirk at that time, but yeah,
Right.
we'll have a new face.
So possibly. And maybe a new face for Spock.
Yeah. And they kind of have to. That's the only way they can end the timeline they've set up in the Discovery 2 and show us Spock.
It could be on his off time that Kirk sat through outer space starship makeovers.
Got a makeover? That's very possible.
Wow. I just had a vision of like an E! Entertainment Network show, Starship Makeovers.
Yeah.
Starship makeover.
That would be awesome.
And
It's like, yeah,
well, and with that technology and those jobs, really quick.
those red
not
stripes on
just
the
the
side
hair
are
you
so
play
right.
gauche.
Right.
Yeah. But no, it's like, well, I mean, who do you think Spock should be in Discovery? Because it's like, I know your wife thinks it should be Zachary Quinto, but that's silly.
Yeah, I don't think it's going
Well,
to be.
I don't think it can be. I mean,
Yeah.
Zachary Quinto plays Spock in JJ Universe.
Right.
It's like, this is Prime. Still Prime.
Right.
So, I mean, you
But
can't...
Spock Leonard Nimoy played himself in the J.J. Abrams universe.
He
Didn't
did. All right.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, you're right.
Yeah.
You did. All right.
So
All
they-
right. Maybe.
yeah, certainly possible.
That'd be cool.
In fact, Leonard Nimoy Spock met
met Spock.
Zachary Quinto's Spock in one of the movies.
Yes.
The first two, actually.
Yep.
Yeah. So
All right.
it's possible. And with Discovery's upcoming season, we will see our third incarnation of Chris Pine.
Those of you that aren't aware, Discovery is CBS's new Star Trek
CBS
series.
All Access.
Yeah, it's behind a paywall.
Yeah.
CBS All Access. It's pretty good. It is. I would recommend watching it.
So we'll see our third Chris Pine.
It hurts me to recommend things behind paywalls because
And-
I especially Star Trek, because to me Star Trek's free
Yeah.
and it always has been, and it's like it just. I mean, other things okay, but Star Trek is something special.
Right.
It should be for everybody.
Right.
It's a socialist sci-fi. It's for the people.
Right.
It's for the people.
That's
The
where it
world
came
changes.
from.
It does.
It's just changing how it's paid for.
But that means the Expanse belongs behind a paywall because
It is
it's
behind
a
about
paywall.
capitalism.
It is kind
It
of
is
because
behind
you
a
have
paywall.
to pay for
Yeah.
cable.
No,
Amazon
I know,
now.
but I'm
Oh,
saying
yeah.
belongs.
Well, no, you have to have Amazon Prime to have it now.
So if it's
Right.
It's behind a paywall. It's not just cable. It's you have to
Yeah.
have an Amazon subscription to do that.
Well, or you can buy the DVDs.
You could
or
do
the
that,
Blu-rays,
but
or
that's
whatever.
still that's not.
And who does that anymore?
Well, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, I don't know if I have a DVD that actually works. I don't. I have a lot of DVDs. I just haven't played them in a long time.
Yeah. I have right over there. I have DVDs of the Godzilla movies.
Quite a collection. And Bill's talking about by his toy collection. He's got
Yes.
a lot of DVDs, and it's like the toys you see on the table are a small fraction of the toys
A smattering.
in Bill's funhouse here.
Yeah.
So yes,
The
like-
sci-fi bunker.
but when you
his
say
laboratory.
when you're on a show and you say over there, it's like it's like you shouldn't. It's like, hey, over there.
Yeah.
It's like, where's over there? It's like, it's over there.
Right.
There it is. It's like, I see it.
It's a
Can't
mystery.
you?
Right.
It's under there.
It's under there. It's in that thing behind the other thing
Right.
in the corner.
Well, sometime we'll do a tour of your laboratory, as well as pictures from inside Area 51.
There you go. and we'll ask the listeners to figure out which is which.
Indeed.
Okay, so all right. Shall we move on to our next exciting
I believe so.
topic? And
I do.
Charles, you want to tell us about this one?
No.
Okay.
I'll let you. You're
All
great
right.
at this.
You're the
You're
one
great
that
at this.
knows the.
Well, I know I'm the one that knows it.
I don't know if Bill saw any Altered
I haven't
Carbon.
seen Altered
so
Carbon.
if you- I think this is yours, baby.
Well, I can just go. The gist. The gist
just
of
give
the
us the
article
gist.
is we're going
Yeah.
to see a season 2 of Altered Carbon, but the old cast, they're saying, has been left behind.
Can you describe the season 1 a little bit?
I can. I think
Give
I
us an
can.
overview.
It's really, I liked. I'm recommending Altered Carbon to anybody who hasn't seen it.
Another thing behind the
Despite
paywall. It's all
the
behind
violence,
paywalls.
despite the violence, but basically, they've invented I'll be giving some stuff away maybe, but basically they've invented a computer chip so that you can download your consciousness and you get to live forever. I almost did not watch Altered Carbon because it's kung fu-y and the main character was very Caucasian. But they kind of explained that away.
Cultural appropriation. Kind of
Yes, did not care much for that. And I thought it was a fight to keep watching it at first. But as far as if you can let that drop away, the initial, it gets less culturally appropriate. Something.
Well, what
Appropriation-y.
Charles is talking about is a big thing right now, and it's been a big thing in Hollywood forever, but now people are actually noticing and complaining about it, is whitewashing, which is where they take an ethnically motivated script and put a white person in a role that should be filled by a Hispanic, African-American, Asian.
Right.
And while this has been done forever, it's like, if you look at like movies like Moses, it's like all of the Egyptians are white.
Yeah.
And they're not white. It's Africa.
Right.
Egypt is in Africa.
It's in the Sahara.
Yeah. So yeah, it's equatorial. They're going to be of darker skin.
Yeah.
That's whitewashing. It's changing how you portray an entire group of people.
So
and
so the
Sort of
interesting
like-
part of the whitewashing of the story is the white guy. It's really a stolen body, which
Gotcha.
I think the idea was that excuses it for a while. I'm not sure that it really does, but if they're throwing the white guy away at the end, I'm okay with it.
Throwing away the body.
Okay. If you're a downloaded consciousness, are you a white guy anymore? I mean, I understand that you have the socialized experiences of whatever race you were.
Ethnic group.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not. I mean, anymore. I mean, I understand you can see the conflict of their socialized ingrained patterns compared to the reality that they exist in now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. Well done, Charles.
Yeah, but and like I said, I'd recommend this series.
Okay.
It was-
Which paywall is this one behind?
Netflix.
Okay.
Netflix. So not a lot of people will have it anyway.
Well, do you have Netflix?
I do.
I do not.
I do
not.
for the moment.
I don't know why. I need Netflix because, I mean, I can't watch Stranger Things without it.
I only allow myself one paywall at a time. So for the moment, I have Netflix.
Okay.
And then if I go to Prime or something, I will cancel Netflix.
Yeah,
That way,
it's like,
I'm only binge watching
I can't handle
with
the
one
idea
monthly fee.
of buying all these paywalls. It's like,
Yeah.
can you give me a paywall, one paywall where I can access all these things? Like, you all get together, figure out a price, and then you split it up amongst yourselves. But it's like, I won't. I refuse to get multiple paywalls. I can't handle that.
But what if they all came together and the price was outrageous?
Well, what are you going to do?
Because everybody's going to want their $5.95.
Well, but they're not. See, you can get $5.95 for a limited audience, or you can get $2 for a much larger audience. Which one makes more? And also, capitalism works on supply and demand. If you raise the price too high, people just won't buy it. So, but it's like they're finding out right now. There's just too many paywalls. I think the entertainment industry is fully aware that they have oversaturated the market with things that aren't publicly available.
Right.
And it's like the public doesn't know what to do.
Well, there is only one thing to do, which is the same thing I've done when it comes to having too many newspapers and magazines, which is give up reading altogether.
So give up streaming altogether?
Yeah.
Well, how many services do you have, Bill?
I have Amazon Prime. I have Netflix. I have Hulu.
Hulu is
Sling
probably,
TV.
Yeah.
Pandora. Spotify. Those are music streaming services, but yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I gave up cable. Cable was costing me
More than all those put together.
$270 a month, probably.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm definitely paying less than I was paying with cable.
But all right, Hulu's probably going to be changed over to a Disney paywall. It's part of the deal in the Marvel universe that we'll talk about in a few minutes. But yeah,
Interesting.
so yeah,
Yeah.
it's they've been wanting to do that for a while. So, but we'll get into all of that probably.
Sounds good.
But no, I'm excited.
All right. So
Actually, that's
that.
yeah.
So season 2, we'll look forward to it. I gotta watch season 1.
yeah,
now.
I do too. But it's like if it's on Netflix, you can binge it. So it's like
Yeah,
So
that'll be
speaking of
nice.
acquisitions,
Yes.
that was deleted.
Ah, nice. All right. So next, we have a story about Samuel L. Jackson.
we could just go straight into the Disney acquisition.
Let's talk about
Which is
Disney
a
acquisition of
it's
Fox.
a brilliant segue. Well,
Okay, go.
I had the segue and then I messed up where we were going.
Let's say Samuel Jackson for episode 4.
Okay.
Since we're going through all of our
That works
stuff
good for
so
me.
very fast.
Yes, let's do that.
But go ahead, Charles.
Well, I was just filling
So
space. Yeah. So Disney is acquiring at least part of Fox
Yes.
because they need some bad guys.
Right.
Fox needs bad guys.
I presumed it was Disney that needed bad,
Well, they're
bad
not-
guys.
Disney needs huh?
And they're not acquiring Fox News division.
Okay.
Because they'd have all the bad guys they wanted.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what they should have done. Yeah,
That's what I
but
was getting at.
Yeah.
speaking of fiction,
Yes. Okay. Disney's acquiring the Marvel superhero movies from Fox.
Well, the properties that in the 90s, Marvel ran out of money, so they started selling off some of their intellectual property to pay the bills, and Fox acquired some of those. Which DC owns all the things DC uses, but Marvel had sold off things like the Fantastic Four.
Right.
And in fact, Fox had the Fantastic Four, and that absolutely atrocious Fantastic Four movie that came out a couple years ago was literally made so that Fox could keep it. Because if they let the property go inactive for 10 years, Marvel could reacquire it, and they didn't want that. As it worked out, they did. But so that Marvel is not as intact as DC, the franchise, in terms of its properties. So all of this is about that.
Okay.
But what does it really mean?
Means they're going to control a lot of the entertainment.
Yeah, they are. They're going to, crazy
Disney
amounts.
to
Hulu.
Marvel Universe, yeah.
The Marvel Universe, Star Wars Universe. It's pretty much.
They'll be
are
serious.
we going to get to see? Are we going to
competitor.
get to see cartoon superhero musicals?
Did you have a stroke? Did your brain just have an aneurysm and pop? And it's like the last thing you're going to say before you die is something about cartoon superhero musicals.
Well, he's just saying with Disney having, because Disney
Don't
yeah,
go into the
right.
light. Don't go into the light, Charles. Just come back to us.
because Disney does a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
So cartoons, they do musicals, Sound of Music.
Mickey
Music
Mouse with a
Man.
lightsaber.
There you go. Right.
I have some pictures of that. I do.
I don't doubt you do.
I do. I do.
I can't seem to find a good position for my mic. I'm playing. Sorry for the...
It's all good. These things happen.
Yes.
Here, I'll do something. Just
There
to
you
make
go.
you feel like you're not,
Yeah.
Mine's not making noise. It's like it's a testament to your engineering skill.
Yes.
We worked really hard to make these boom mics not make noise.
Makes you have a little more empathy for Tony Stark.
I guess so.
Yeah.
When you have trouble adjusting your mic.
Right. Just imagine his suit.
But
all the
if
technology.
Tony Stark had designed these, they would move themselves and fight Thanos. So that would be neat. But this is pretty good. I mean, can't have everything.
Right.
It's like boom mic, make me a sandwich,
Right.
and it would if it was built by Tony Stark. But no,
It would.
no. But it's like the impact on the diversity of entertainment that we're going to be having access to. Does it make up? Does having access to all the Fantastic Four and X-Men make up for the fact that we're going to start losing a lot of integrity? I mean, Disney can decide just to emphasize properties that they know can make money.
Right.
And what that would... Who here liked Deadpool?
I liked it. I
Haven't seen it
haven't
yet.
seen the second one. I've seen the first one. I liked it.
The second one, I think, is almost better. But it's like that whole property was risk.
Yeah.
It was totally, they didn't know it was going to make money.
Right.
They didn't give it a big budget. But if Disney has the stranglehold, then, in fact, now Disney owns the Deadpool franchise.
Right.
I mean, what's going to happen? First of all, Deadpool, if anyone is not aware, is known as the mark with the mouth. He is definitely an R-rated and maybe in some cases X-rated superhero or anti-hero. And how does that fit in with the Disney floor plan of the happy world of Walt Disney?
Well, and along the lines of what you're saying there, how many of you guys saw the movie Inception?
Yeah.
You saw that? Good show. Very entertaining.
But risky.
I liked it.
A risk.
Well, and because it was so expensive to make, it didn't make near the profit in comparison. I mean, it made a lot of money worldwide, but it was so expensive to make that the profit wasn't there. So that, in turn, has eliminated the prospect for a sequel because the sequel traditionally has not fared as well as the first show anytime Hollywood's done a sequel. So if the profit margin is very narrow, that makes a sequel less likely. And in this case, that's why they've never done one. That and the fact that it would be, you'd really need somebody with the brain power of Einstein to figure out how you do an inception within an inception.
You want to take care
I
of that?
apologize for that.
It's all good. Phones happen.
Games
They
afoot.
do. But I see where you're coming. Also, if Disney is in... Like before the Fox deal, Disney controlled 40% of all the entertainment that you look at. And now it's going to have more. Why would they want to speculate? Why would they want to do movies that aren't guaranteed to make a profit? Keep spinning off the same old crap rather than trying new franchises that, like Deadpool, like Inception, that did make money. They didn't make a lot. Inception didn't make a lot of money. Deadpool has made cash, but no one knew if the world was ready for a superhero that has a foul mouth. It's a superhero that is ethically murky.
Yeah.
And apparently they were. So some studios took a chance, but if Fox has control of all, or I'm sorry, if Disney has control of all these things, why would they speculate?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Well, assuming they're going to do
Indeed.
something with it and not just push it aside. I mean, a lot of times companies will buy other companies just to tear them apart,
Right. Well,
just
and
to get rid of the competition.
Indeed.
exactly.
But that's even further. It's like now that they have what I consider a monopoly, even though the Justice Department said it's okay.
They have a monopoly on imagination.
Yes, and now now everyone else is like
Yeah.
is going to be treading lightly. Disney's going to just throw money around basically probably quashing a number of independent studios that are doing things now. And it's like literally they're going to control your imagination.
Yeah, and your superheroes.
Well done. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Superheroes have sold out.
Well, yeah.
Well, we got about 10 minutes left in our show. We should get to our next section, I think.
Have you silenced your phone?
I have silenced I've silenced my house phone. Let me silence my, although in this case, that was a good call because it was our interviewee for our next podcast.
All right.
Verifying his arrival time. So.
All right. Well, cool. Cool. I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're good.
Would you like to do a shout out for that? So.
Yeah. So
that
our
people-
episode 4, which will be in a week from when you're watching this, will feature a local cosplayer, Josh Cato of Cato Cosplay, and he's in the span of 4 or 5 years. We'll have to get the exact detail from him, but he's gone from not being a cosplayer at all to designing costumes that are taking awards at some big shows. He's actually been invited by groups that do booze at Comic-Con to impersonate certain characters on behalf of them. So he'll be a good one to tune in for and watch what he has to say. And if you're at all thinking about getting into cosplay or interested in any way, it'll be good to hear how he got started and how he picked up, because he sews all of his stuff, and it's an incredible job that he does on that.
He also taught himself how to sew during that period.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So anyway, we can move on to our next section. So there's an article here about James Gunn being fired. He's the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, and he's been fired over some offensive tweets that he put out. And some of the tweets are...
Well, they're offensive.
They are offensive. The one here, among the tweets that forced Disney and Marvel's hand were, "I like when little boys touch me in my silly place." Why would anybody write that? Or another one, "The best thing about being raped is when you're done being raped and it's like, woo, this feels great not being raped."
Yeah.
Not good. So.
And he actually did tweet these.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not good. And I think...
so he doesn't work for Fox?
He doesn't
Not
work
anymore.
for... Yeah, or in this case, isn't it now Disney? Cause yeah. And that's good because, Disney's got a serious image to protect as far as,
family friendly.
Family friendly, right?
We're talking about James Gunn.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
I had to.
No,
go to
that's
the
okay.
bathroom.
That's
Did you read off the?
Yeah, I read off the
tweets?
two tweets there, and we were just talking about the fact that Disney's made a good move to protect their family-friendly image by getting rid of the guy.
Yeah, even though those are old tweets, but it's like to say that. It's like to have that on record somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't understand.
Yeah. Not good sense.
I don't get it.
And then looks like Chris Hardwick is back. John, you want to talk about that?
Yes, a few weeks ago, about a month ago, Hardwick was accused of being in an abusive relationship, of being the abuser in an abusive relationship with an ex that he had stopped seeing a while back. And he was released from the Walking Dead show that discussed The Walking Dead. He was released from his Comic-Con obligations, which he's a staple.
Right.
In fact, James Gunn was supposed to be there too. I wonder how they filled the spots at San Diego Comic-Con from all the people who were booted for hate. But AMC, the company that plays The Walking Dead show, did an investigation with some outside people and have cleared him to the point where that he's allowed to be on the show again as the host. It brings to mind, to me, the Me Too movement. And I'm a big fan of the Me Too movement. Started after the Harvey Weinstein investigations, where he was rampantly sexually assaulting women for decades.
Right.
And no one listened. No one listened to these women. And I think everyone should listen to women.
Yep.
My personal, I like Chris Hardwick's stuff. I don't know him as a person. If he was an abusive hater, I don't want him around anymore.
Right.
It's like, they cleared him, so I'm going to go back until I hear other things. But it's become quite popular for politicians and public figures. And this isn't Democrat, this isn't Republican, this is all of them. If they get caught doing something, to do an apology tour, which means they go on all the TV shows. I'm sorry. So sorry. I'm sorry.
Right. Well, and I see here
Hey, Bill,
it's
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's talking about as the movement continues. We're talking about the Me Too movement. Different post-scandal fates have started to emerge.
Yes.
As a Vox headline noted this week, Mel Gibson has set the blueprint for a Me Too comeback. Expect other men to follow it.
Yeah, this is a plan that you see happening.
Yeah.
You do.
The article delved into Gibson's behavior. Remember when Osaka, I'm going to murder her last name, Gregorieva,
yeah.
said he I apologize if I murdered the name there. Said he knocked out her teeth. Well, the key strategies for returning to the public eye that Mel Gibson used was, first of all, don't discuss the incident yourself. Let your friends do the talking. Second, let some time pass, and then return in a mode slightly different than the one for which you were known.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we may see more of that as the Me Too movement continues.
Yeah, it's like, I guess Mel Gibson has never re-entered the spotlight that he was in.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, he blew a lot of that away long before the Me Too accusations.
Right.
Well, you could also call it the Tom Cruise plan, because after his whole Oprah Scientology blow up, he was worth nothing. It's like no one wanted to touch him because they thought he was insane. Yeah. So he kind of did the same thing. He did exactly this, and then he kind of reconstructed himself in a new direction.
Right.
Although I think he'd already done the first Mission Impossible.
Yeah. Yeah, but he just came across as crazy, not hateful.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah. Right.
You're right.
Which is a big difference.
It's forgivable just to be a little crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little hateful to psychologists, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So,
he put down psychology and psychologists.
Well, Scientology
and he needed
does that.
psychologists.
Yeah. Scientology does not like psychologists.
No.
It's
so
one of their things.
Or vaccinations.
So I've heard. Yes.
So while we're on this topic in a similar vein, there was an article this week about Worldcon. And for those of you that aren't familiar with Worldcon, it's a annual convention, huge convention where they vote on the Hugo Awards, which are
the premier.
It's like the Oscars of sci-fi, right? So there was a huge blow up there. It says, after more high-profile writers publicly withdrew from their convention panels, Worldcon announced that it was tearing the program apart and starting over.
Good.
With an apology to many attendees who made their voices heard this week. The organizers are putting together a more representative program, requesting input from Hugo nominees. So the reason they had such a problem, they were sidelining marginalized authors and doing things like one Hugo finalist was misgendered. They use the pronouns they and them instead of he or she. So despite that being all over their Facebook profile and everything, they didn't get it right. And one of the things that was interesting, I thought, was that there is a, let's see, let me find it here, sorry. I should have highlighted it. Anyway, there's a group within the WorldCon group. They call themselves the Sad Puppies. And,
those guys.
And they're basically a group of straight white guys that, want to keep WorldCon the way it is and not have people of color, LGBTs, and women recognized for stories and given awards and all of that.
If you're not a straight white guy, you can read sci-fi, you can watch sci-fi in the approved box that we have built for you. Your participation in the world to the Sad Puppies is strictly limited to your white maleness. So yeah.
Yeah. So basically, it says.
We're going to get some email about this. I can feel that.
Yeah, and I think so.
That's okay. I can live with that. Hate haters. I hate haters.
There's own voices, hashtag own voices thing that's kind of like the hashtag Me Too movement for this. And there was an email where a WorldCon organizer said there is no hashtag Own Voices panel at WorldCon this year because maybe 20% of WorldCon 76 members know what it means.
That's a lot, though. It's like, that's a lot of people.
Well, it is. And
if I could get 20% of even British Fest to come to my panel,
But they would know what it means if
awesome.
they were there. Right?
Exactly. Well,
and how are they ever going to know if they don't get exposed to it?
Hashtag Own Voices is a hashtag championing marginalized creators who write from their own experiences. For instance, Asian authors
non-white,
writing Asian characters.
People. Yeah.
And it has a significant presence on the publishing scene. So it's definitely known to plenty of WorldCon attendees, and those who don't know might be interested in finding out. That's the point of convention panels, to learn new things. And so they took that out. So anyway, there's been a huge backlash. A lot of the people that were hosting panels have backed out, said they're not doing it. And so as a result, WorldCon is completely redoing their entire program, bringing in marginalized people, anyone that's been nominated for an Oscar. They want to, want to talk to them.
Hugo.
Hugo.
No, just wanted.
They probably want to talk to people nominated with Oscars as well.
But then you're always worried that they're overcompensating.
Right.
It's like, and it's like, to err on the side of humanism, in my opinion, is always a good thing. To be more inclusive is always the goal for me. But then it's like people who have been accused of not being inclusive then start ignoring.
Right.
The non-inclusive people, which I'm not a fan of anyone who hates anyone, but it's like, where's the line? Where can we all get along?
Right.
And I don't know. Is there one? I don't know. 'Cause this problem it's not a new problem, but our understanding of it is. It's like these people, these marginalized populations have been marginalized since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
It's just no one cared before.
Well, the thing that kind of surprises me with this is that traditionally science fiction has presented a more progressive view of things. I mean, you see all kinds of different characters and different outlooks and different races and all this kind of stuff. And then to have...
how do you make an alien look like a white guy?
Right, exactly.
Well, but honestly, there's another piece of racism right there. If you break down all of the makeup and the prostheses of aliens, the people underneath them are almost always
white,
black.
Oh, what?
Yeah, yeah. Most of the people, there are graphics online I could show if I could access. But it's like, but no, it's like we were talking about right before we started the show, Charles and I. It's like, I started this. I mean, I got into sci-fi because of the positive future that Star Trek, the original series, portrayed.
Right.
And it was very important to me. And in that, it's like as little inclusiveness as it seems like now, having a black communications officer, having an Asian helmsman, having a Russian navigator, having all of these people.
Bringing in all those diverse backgrounds and diverse talent sets. And it's the whole Vulcan-idic.
IDIC,
right?
Infinite diversity and infinite combinations. Yes.
Right.
Yes, it is. And I love that. And that's sci-fi to me. And it's like, can't we all just like have a good time with that?
I think it's just that there are people out there that are so afraid of not being in control.
Yeah.
Right?
You mean losing historical control.
And their place of privilege, right? In deciding what gets published and what doesn't, and sharing that among a diverse group.
Well, and we should probably be upset, even forget the diversity thing, we should be upset over that anyway. I like, when I go to a con of any sort, a convention of any sort, I want to see stuff I haven't seen before.
Right.
I mean, it's one thing to meet a big star. Some people might be into that, but for the most part, I want to be exposed to other things.
Right.
Not just the stuff I read when I was 12.
Yep, exactly.
So I think overcompensation is a good thing, personally.
Well, and to me, the whole thing that Doctor Who now is doing with having a woman in the role of the Doctor for the first time ever, and I think we touched on this in the last episode, but I think that's great. You know, I saw a video, watched a video, and I was telling you about this, John, last week, where and I don't know how the BBC did. I think maybe they asked people to send in videos of their live reactions when the Doctor got named, who the new Doctor was going to be, and they must have taken all these videos and pieced them together, but it was women from around the world that were, that saw for the first time ever a female Doctor, a female in the role of the Doctor, get nominated, and it was hugely emotionally impactful. These women, some of them were crying. They were so happy about it, and I think it's great. I think, why not do something like that?
Yeah.
And not only does it give encouragement to women around the world, showing them that they too can be the Doctor.
That they matter.
Yeah, it shows that they matter. And additionally, for the rest of us, it provides a whole new spectrum of stories that can be told now from a woman's perspective, yes, which I think is great because it will open up a whole new world. And it'll make for some very interesting stories. And it's like, you mentioned last time that they're not going to have the Daleks and the Cybermen and stuff like that in the new episode.
Yes.
And
this whole season, I think.
And that's fine. And to me, that's great, too, because it's going to force the writers to come up with new stuff.
And it lets the people who haven't tuned in for 50 years actually
right. They don't have to know, 50 years of history to understand, well, why are the Daleks so scary kind of a thing. They can start out with a whole new race and build it from there. And this will provide, a lot of new cosplay opportunities. It'll provide a lot of new entertainment stories.
Star Wars, The Force Awakens.
Right.
Who are the stars? A woman and a black male. And the sad puppies.
Yeah.
I think we can just refer to them as the sad puppies for now.
Yeah.
But the sad puppies lost their minds.
Yeah.
Out of hate. And they went so hateful. They still are rolling out hate.
Yeah.
That they are trashing the woman who played Rose in The Last Jedi. And it's like so bad, so much hate was poured on her that she quit Twitter because she couldn't do it.
See, and that's so sad. It makes me so sad.
It is, and why? It's like these people have made the Star Wars universe broader and better.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And any anthropologist will tell you. Here's the deal. We do things called participant observation. We go and we watch cultures, sometimes for years. And in the days of yore, they used to just send males. But in a lot of societies, males and females don't interact. It's like really it would be hard here to immerse yourself into basically female-centric roles as a male. In some societies, the best you can hope for is that they'll kick you out. Or they won't talk to you. The worst you can hope for is they'll kill you. Right. So now anthropology send male and female teams to study a whole culture because the experience culturally in all cultures is different based on gender. And like you just said a minute ago, if we expand all the sci-fi universe to include women, which is starting to happen, it just makes it better.
Yeah.
Much more colorful.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yep.
I like it.
All right. Well, listen, I think we're already over time here. And,
are we?
Yep. So we probably got to cut
big
it.
Clock?
We need a big clock.
We do.
I'll look at getting a big clock.
I thought you had that app.
So
that
we have something larger to ignore?
Yes.
Yeah. Something huge that we just can't ignore.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us for our third podcast here, and we'll get this up. It's obviously already been up because you just watched it.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Right. But watch next week. We'll have another exciting episode.
And Josh will be here to talk all about.
Josh will be here.
His
cosplay.
His journey into cosplay. Yes.
Yep. So thank you. I'm Bill.
I'm Audie.
Charles.
And I'm John.
And have a great week. And we'll catch you guys next time.
Yeah, we'll see you in the future.
That's right.
Yes. We will time travel to the next episode now.
Okay.
Right now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Galactic Driftwood Podcast. For more information and past episodes, please visit our website at galacticdriftwood.space. And now, please deactivate your cranial downlinks, collect your towels, and be sure to watch your step as you exit the gravity well.